Hi, and welcome to what used to be a bacon warehouse in Clerkenwell. It's now where I live. This top floor we built on it exclusively for my use. It's my office and my workspace, everything. I usually spend about 10 hours a day in here, day or night. There are no particular pattern to my working day. Every day is different, actually. So somehow I always end up sitting here, surrounded by all the clutter of my daily work. What have we got at the moment? I mean, there's my fan mail, that's one day's supply. I get an awful lot of letters. I try to reply to as many as I can, but sometimes that's impossible. This is the most important thing, which is my new novel. I've just got back from Hong Kong, where I've been researching it. It's called Necropolis. I write everything in longhand. Although I'm sitting in front of a computer, I actually don't like using a computer. I feel much more comfortable being in the tradition of my great heroes like Charles Dickens, Jane Austen, Thomas Hardy. All these writers use the same thing, which is a fountain pen, so I use one too. I just think like blood should flow through us like ink, or ink should flow through us like blood, I should say. So I write everything in longhand into these notebooks. I'm very religious in saying I always use the same style of notebook, different colours depending on my mood, but the same notepad. And what else have I got around me? Everything in this office is designed for work. Whatever I look at should somehow focus me on the writing I'm doing. That includes the view and all sorts of other things that are around me too. For example, let's start with this here. Any kid who's read Eagle Strike will know where this comes in. It inspired the first chapter of Eagle Strike, which has a giant spider in it. And over here, this little tiny glass thing was the beginning of Scorpio, the evil organization that Alex fights. On these shelves, these are all my books in 25 different languages. I don't quite know why I bother keeping them, but they publishers send them to me, so I thought I ought to have them. And then we have various magic tricks around the place. You'll notice this here is a magic trick. I don't do magic. I'd never dream of performing it, but I do have a belief that there's a connection between my work and illusion, surprise, unpredictability, magic in other words, and so that's why I like to have tricks all around me. And I have toys as well. I'm a children's author, so why not? This is one of my favorites here, made by Martin Smith. I can give myself a round of applause if I write a decent chapter. And then we come to Tintin. You'll find a lot of Tintin in his office. I've often said that my inspiration when I was a very young boy was the Tintin book. So over here, for example, we've got the Tintin rocket that took him to the moon, explorers on the moon. You'll notice on the wall some Tintin posters. There's one over there by the window. Oh yes, the most important thing of all is this. This was given to me by my mother when I was 13 years old. It's a human skull, a real skull. And why do I keep it? Well, I guess part of the reason is morbid, but there's another reason, which is I'm very driven. I have to remind myself to get to the end of each story, to keep writing, to keep working, because I'm 52 years old now, and it's not going to be too much longer before, unfortunately, I'm going to look like that. So that's there to remind me that time is short. Get on with it. But if all else fails within this building, there's always outside. Let me show you. So this is the London where Charles Dickens lived and worked. Bleeding Heart Yard is that way. Fagin lived just round the corner. I mean, what more inspiration could you possibly want?